Yes. Okay.
All right?
I get it.
Does it make sense?
Hopefully our one audience member can understand it.
I'm going to explain it one more time. Hello and welcome back to Dodge, Parry and Roll, your fortnightly Australian independent video game and existential crisis show here on YouTube. I am your host for this evening, Joshua LaRosa, joined by my dear friend Vinnie. Vinnie, hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you? I'm good. Doing good.
We've got that down pat. I don't want to jinx it.
Oh no, you've got it down pat for sure. You've nailed it every single time the last couple of times.
Not written down at all. I don't know why I picked up sticky notes, but not written down. It's ingrained.
Yeah, that's how you've solidified yourself as a podcast host. You've kept at it.
How many times do you need to do something before it becomes like locked
habitual?
in?
Oof. I think it's like 3 weeks to make a habit, statistically. So, but I don't know. It depends on how much do you want it. How much do you want it to be a habit?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like something's got to give. Something in this brain. Yeah. I often wonder, like, when I absorb a piece of information, right? Like when I sit there and I read through like a Sony earnings call, what am I getting rid of in the memory bank? Like something's... Oh,
yeah.
What am I losing?
So you're saying your bank's full and you're just like, fill it with something's coming out the other way. Oh, yeah. You're probably losing like an addictive, like... I was going to say something... Like, did you ever have a TV commercial that got stuck in your head? Like a jingle?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably one of those.
Yeah, that might be it. It's funny, Nathan like is picking up on ads now. So like, you know, BCF and fishing, it's BCF and BCF and fun. And then Nathan's like, yeah. So he's paying attention. But we are a fortnightly video game and existential crisis show here on YouTube for the time being. You find us every second Friday at, do we have a time? Do we have a specific time? Or is it just Friday?
It's just Friday. I think I do it in the AM. I upload it about 6 or 7 AM.
We are Australian, so really it doesn't matter what time I tell
time.
you, because it's going to be a completely different time, depending on where you are in the world.
Friday could be Thursday for those people.
Exactly. Which would make this very confusing. So, adjust. Learn, evolve, adjust. But we are... What are we, Australia? I've said all that. What am I doing? Vinny, how you been? What's been going on? Tell me something interesting.
Oh, you're talking about existential crises. I was saying I put an offer on a house today. Kind of a bit terrifying. Looking for a place to call my own, and just in time for those rate rises. So
yeah, it is so funny. I was thinking
cost
about
of living.
I was thinking about before. I'm like, you know, we often roll into these things unprepared, and we end up just on a rabbit hole. Down the rabbit hole is what I was looking for. And I was going to bring up, man, the world is screwed. Like,
yeah, it's cooked.
Every country. I was actually talking to Naomi about this before. Our parents' generation is what screwed it up for us now.
Yeah.
And they got all the benefits of their decisions, right? So, like, our grandparents came to this country, built the infrastructure, right? That generation. Then the generation after that, which is our parents, got all the benefits of all those things. Hey, we paid off our house in 5 years, and a house of land cost us $30,000. Here's an idea. Just so we can live a better life, all the things that our country do and do well, let's get them shipped out to another country to do it. Manufacturing, fossil fuels, all mining, whatever this country used to do.
Yeah.
We'll absorb all the benefits of those things for the time being. And now it's people like you and I that have to deal with it.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
We're cooked. I mean, it's a whole thing. You go deep into it. I don't know when this became political, but yeah, a lot of our ownership is overseas as well. Or mining companies, like fuel companies, they're all by not Australian based. You know, they're all based in like China or India or somewhere got that money. It's actually crazy. And yeah, you're right. The jobs are not here, but like I'm worried for my future as a like for what I do for a living. Like how long till my skill set is not necessarily people based. So working on a computer, my days are numbered.
It's scary.
Then you got the help. You got the AI crap going on.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah, that's everywhere. I got to learn how to use stuff with my hands. I got to learn a trade. I reckon.
Yeah,
that's gonna be the next thing.
And then there's gonna be 3D printing to do all that as well. I've just learned. So I've gotten access to Copilot as part of my. So like my workplace, you get
Microslop.
Yeah, you get a selection of software that is mandatory to use, and then depending on your level, you can kind of request additional access. And I was like, I'm just gonna see what I can get away with. So I requested things like Copilot, like the top of the whatever the enterprise thing is, and I got it. And I'm using it a little bit in the sense that I use it to like record and transcribe meetings. And it's fine in that sense where it'll be like, here's the main things you spoke about. Here are the action items that were mentioned. Like things like that. But it is interesting because I'm noticing like even exec level discussions. Like we had our quarterly planning today. And every head of kind of does like a 2-minute kind of, here's what we've done last quarter. Here's what we're doing next quarter. And the slides themselves were clearly AI generated. And they're not stepping away from saying it. It's kind of like they use it as like, we threw this into ChatGPT or Copilot and this is what it spat out. But it's just like...
Yeah. There goes your... Yeah, it's hard because that's a skill set. Like making a good presentation is a skill set. So that's another thing lost. It's like they talk about all the time with like animation. With drawing skill set, art being a massive skill set, music being a skill set, like all these things where it's AI taking your job. And then that you have, it's annoying when AI is supposed to be there as a tool, but not as a creative outlet, or it's supposed to be like an assistant, but in your sense of having a skill set where it's like presentation based, or creating a good presentation, trying to sell something, I think is a skill set personally. So then you take that away and you give it to a machine, you're then kind of dumbing your system down. Like taking notes and taking minutes, fair enough. Like you need that. Otherwise you'd be writing down the points yourself and half paying attention to a conversation.
Yep.
But yeah, anyway. when it comes to creative outlets, that's when I kind of draw the line with AI. I don't particularly like it too much. And like it's gone like all the AI music that's out. Like Spotify is filled with it. Like you want to deep dive, go down the rabbit hole of Spotify's AI kind of artists, because Spotify is actually pushing a lot of AI artists into people's discovery, and then taking out the artists that they actually need to pay for the clicks and the listens. So, yeah, it's wild, man.
Yeah, it's a weird world we're living in. It's funny how you said like the art of the sell and I used to get people to do my slides for me because I can't. I'm just not great at that. But that
but that was a
job.
It was a job.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like marketing, like I've got a close friend who works in advertising, and even then it's like, people are using AI to generate ideas, right? Which is the very fundamental aspect of a human, is like the ability to imagine,
create.
And it's funny, like some would argue that it potentially opens the doors for people, right? Like if you, can't draw, but you want to create art, you can use AI to do it and like have it assist you, and you're still creating I don't agree with this, by the way, but I've just heard this argument made. Same thing with like, video game development. It's like I can't code, but I've got this great idea that could be absolutely revolutionary, and through AI I can get a rig or a alpha build or whatever of this designed game made, and perhaps it becomes the next big thing. And that's something that may have not happened if I didn't have access to that tool to sell it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
also,
I
you don't
know.
have the, like, if you can't play the guitar, should you really be writing music, like, for the guitar?
Yeah.
You know?
I agree with that. Yeah. Learn to play the instrument because that's where your creativity will shine.
What are we drinking today? You got anything? Any teas?
Oh, I have a decaf.
Decaf. I don't think I've ever had a decaf in my life.
It's a decaf tea.
Decaf
So,
tea.
yeah. So I've to tell you. So like once again, another little rant. I'm not religious. I'm quite like if I had to guess.
Didn't think this is where we were going down.
Yeah, no. There's some context to this.
Okay, go.
I'm probably more agnostic, if that makes sense. Do you know what that means?
That you believe there's something, but you're just not quite sure what exactly that is.
Yeah. I'm that guy. But for Easter rolls around, we have Lent. For all you Catholics out there and Christians, I don't know. Yeah. And I normally give up something for Lent every year as a personal challenge.
Okay, this is where it was going. I was wondering what the caffeine was going to
Yeah.
tie in. Gotcha.
So this year, so last year I gave up sugar, and I found that to be pretty easy. So this year I've given up sugar, caffeine, and alcohol. And you know what? I'm feeling pretty good. Like, I'm feeling pretty good. I thought caffeine would help me sleep better, as in, like, cutting it out. I still sleep like crap, so at least I know I can go back to caffeine. But I went from 6 shots a day to none.
Yeah, that's
like-
wild. That's a
like
big
that.
cold turkey.
Yeah. I tell you, the headaches, so bad.
So I've never gone over that line. Like, I will only ever have 9 times out of 10, 2 coffees a day. There's sometimes I'll have 1, and there might be once a month where I'll have like 3. And that's mainly if I've been in the office for a full day, which is very rare. And I have like the like the 3 o'clock coffee, and you're like, I'll get one more.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting. Yeah, I've gone 5 weeks without caffeine before, but it's one of those things where I'm not that reliant on it, where I actually enjoy coffee. Like, I
love coffee.
a long black. Like, I don't have sugar. Like, I that's how I enjoy the drink. So, yeah, interesting.
Yeah. I'm on week... Let's see. Probably 5. I'm on week 5 now.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Video games, Vinny. What have you been playing?
I'm in my JRPG era right now.
Japanese.
I'm playing the JRPG era. So I'm playing Dragon Quest VII Reimagined.
Yep.
Still slowly going through that. I'm enjoying it. I really love the art style. I think the art style is fantastic. It's really make me keen to play Link's Awakening on Switch. So I'll play that sometime in the near future because I've never played that one before. And just that whole claymation diorama style of Dragon Quest with like the quality of life features, the fast travel. It's really well done. And then I'm also playing Pokemon Silver on the Game Boy Color.
Yep.
And yeah, slowly going through that. That one's a burn. That's a slow burn. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what about you?
I finished Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I think you were to say you finished Kingdom Hearts.
I'm getting all emotional. I finished Kingdom Hearts 1, my playthrough, which I walked away going, yeah, I still really like Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts 1 is nowhere near perfect. It definitely has some pacing issues, especially towards the end where it's like monster closet, boss. Monster closet, boss. Gummy ship still sucks. Story is surprisingly light on from my memory of what Kingdom Hearts was. It really is humble beginnings.
Yeah.
But very much walked away going, yeah, I'm keen to go through the series. And for context, I've only ever played Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3. So I haven't played any of the interstitial games. I haven't played some of the mainline, like, what was the PSP one?
Birth by Sleep.
Birth by Sleep, which is widely considered to be, like, up there in terms of the greatest. Yeah. So, finished Kingdom Hearts 1, went straight into watching the cutscenes for Rechain of Memories. I got maybe an hour into that.
Yep.
Let me just mute my phone. Very professional. And
very professional.
It was just a message from Combank about our loans going up. Thank you. Expensive living. And yeah, got an hour into that, and I was like, yeah, this is rough. Purely from the standpoint that it's a remake of a Game Boy game, and it still very much is structured in that way. And it's definitely a step back in terms of like voice acting, in terms of how much is voice acted. A lot more of the game is text. And I don't know if you noticed, it's funny, like, after I got through the first hour, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to watch a really detailed summary of the story. So I found, like, a 40-minute video on YouTube, instead of watching a 5-hour, 6-hour, or I think it was, like, 4.5 hours worth of cutscenes, plus the little interstitial conversations. It was, like, a solid 40-minute explanation of the story. Very detailed. And it's funny, because I thought this straight away, and then watching the video, was the first thing the guy brought up, was like, Sora's voice is so different between Kingdom Hearts 1 and Rechain of Memories, where I've had Sora 1 voice ingrained in my mind as the way Sora sounds. I'm interested now when I get to Kingdom Hearts 2 and then play 3 again, how he sounds, because even though 3 is the most recent one I've played, 1 is still One's the most ingrained in my mind because I was the youngest when I played it and probably never finished it at the time. So I was playing a lot of the same parts of it. So I've got to really it's really stuck in my mind. Where Kingdom Hearts 2, I was old enough where I could play through it. Right? So I wasn't young enough where, when you get stuck in a game as a kid, you just kind of keep playing that same section. So as much as I much prefer Kingdom Hearts 2, and I know that in my heart, Kingdom Hearts 1 is the one I remember playing the most. So it was so jarring to have Sora's voice, change so deeply.
Change that much? Yeah.
No pun intended.
The boy hit puberty.
Yeah, but yeah, I finished the kind of summary of Rechain of Memories, and I'm raring to go to Kingdom Hearts 2. If it wasn't for a game coming out next week, which we're going to talk about in the next segment, I probably would have jumped straight into Kingdom Hearts 2, but I'm going to take my time with it. I think I'm getting a better understanding of the story, purely because, again, I only ever played 1 into 2, and I might have watched YouTube kind of things, but now that I'm playing or watching as I go, I'm getting a better understanding of the actual story.
Yeah.
But it is fun. Rechain of Memories, basically, all this happens, and then you forget about it at the end anyway. So I'm besides the setup into Kingdom Hearts 2, and obviously the characters coming back, not much really happens.
No.
Except for the right at the end, where it's just you're going to be in this pod. Because I remember in Kingdom Hearts 2, playing it for the first time, and you obviously have that really slow intro with Kingdom Hearts 2, but when you finally get back to Sora, you're like, what the hell are you doing in this pod?
Yeah.
What's going on here? So,
and then your clothes just don't fit because you've been asleep for a goddamn year, and you wake up with these slutty short shorts.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, playing through that, bit of Pokemon, Fire Red, just plugging away through it. It is very much a slow burn, something I just pick up before bed.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really been it for me. It's more about what's coming. I mean, the year's already been stronger for a Resident Evil fan, but
which we aren't because we are
chickens.
Scaredy cats.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to jump. We're going to leave our main topic. This is how we're going to kind of ease into the critical thinking and the deep discussions that we have here on this show. So again, if you're enjoying yourself, hit subscribe. Let us know in the comments how the interest rates are affecting you. But we're going to introduce a new segment, Vinny. A segment we're going to call Perfect Parry. So, what I want to do...
like it.
Thank you. What I want to do is each episode, hopefully we can make this work with game releases, is pick a game, the biggest game or the main, the game that's releasing in that fortnight, give or take, and guess its Metacritic score. So the way it's going to work is, for instance, if the score was to come out at an 80, and I picked 79, and you picked 85, right?
Yep.
The way it's going to work is 80 is obviously what it is. If you get it, 10 points. Straight off the bat.
Okay.
And then it will allow 5 on either side. So between 80 and 85 and 80 and 75. And the way it will work is you'll get 5 points, 4 points, 3 points, 2 points, 1, the further away it gets. So if the Metacritic's an 80 and I guess 75, 1 point. If the Metacritic's an 80 and Vinny guesses 82, he gets 4 points. Because it's 10 points, 5, and 4. Make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but you shouldn't get more points than me if it was an 80 and I got an 82 and you got a...
No, so you would have got 4 points. If I guess 75 and it's an 80, I'd only get the 1 point.
Yeah.
You get 4, actually, I get 1.
If you count 75, 76, 77, 78, 79...
Okay, well, we can... Oh, hold on, now you're throwing me off. So if it's 80 and you guess 80, 10 points.
Yeah, if it's 76...
If it's
80...
If it's 79, you get 4.
Yeah.
Then 3, 2, 1. So there's no 5 points. I guess that's what you mean, right?
Yeah.
But you're getting 10 if you get it right. So that's kind of the counterbalance of it all.
Yes, okay.
All right?
I get it.
Does it make sense?
Hopefully our one audience member can understand it.
I'm going to explain it one more time. We guess the Metacritic score. If you guess the correct score, you get 10 points. Then for every point removed on either side, up or down, within 5 points, you're going to get 4 points, 3 points, 2 points, 1 point respectively. So again, if it's an 80 and I guess 75, I get the 1 point. If it's an 80 and Vinny guesses 82, he gets 3 points. There you go. I've been paying attention.
Yeah, cool.
Now that we've got the rules, Vinny, if you can get...
I'd like to ask a clarifying question,
some
please.
text over the page explaining the rules.
Yeah. Okay, you want to write them out for me? Because I still don't know.
I'll draw a little diagram of leave that with me.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Clarifying question. Mm-hmm. Is the Metacritic score on release or is it within a week? Or... Because that's subject to change. Are we doing
that is
3
true.
days?
And are we doing...
Review scores?
I think we go with the critic score, not the fan score. Because that is where you start getting people review bombing and things like that. We don't want to play in that space. I think we just capture a day of review.
Okay, the day goes
or
live.
the day after it comes out, because I don't know, we're going to get super tricky if the game doesn't have the embargo release until the day after. But give or take, let's just take the day after release. I will go in, I will look at that point in time.
All right.
So now that that's all been cleared up, and I'll have this little diagram and it'll be on the screen right now. Okay, Vinny, note this down.
Done. Yep.
We need to decide on something here. So we're going to track this all year, right? Tally all the points. Now, I think the loser needs to do something pretty meaningful here. Because it's a long play. It's a long game.
Yeah.
You've got I'm expecting this to go up and down. I could be blasting you in points, and then all of a sudden you get 2 correct in a row, and you get 2 10 points. And you're ahead. So, the loser needs to do something meaningful.
Okay. Well,
what do we think?
I don't know. Well, you said long play, and it made me think of a long video game, but that's not meaningful enough. Like, what are we doing?
I want it to be something not embarrassing, but I want you to or me.
Oh yeah, you already think that you're gonna win.
Appear on the first episode back of the following year, wearing a wig, like a really embarrassing wig, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
No, it could be me, but most likely.
Yeah. You could do that.
Yeah, I could do that. So let's say this. the loser for next year, I want like a wig and the clown nose. A little red.
For the entire episode? Yeah,
the entire episode.
Let's do it.
And we're not to reference it. We're not to make a note of it. We just roll into the episode as if you and I are just wearing normal attire.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Done.
All right.
I like it.
Okay. All right. So the first one up, the first game that we're going to do, now that I've explained the rules. Crimson Desert, which releases 3 days from date of recording. Developed by Pearl Abyss, action adventure game out of a Korean studio. Very much hyped
It is hyped.
in the industry from players and press alike. Interested to hear your thoughts, what you've seen of the game, and then your formal prediction as to where this will land on Metacritic. Take it away.
All right, so my initial thought after looking at the game is I should really finish The Witcher 3 because that's what this game is giving me. It's giving like a very vast, very open, that kind of style of game. It is Korean based, like you said, but it looks pretty damn good. But I wonder if it's going to be that. My only like question now is it going to be that thing where it's trying to do too much that it fails at everything? So, but the hype is real with this one. Do you want me to give my Metacritic score now? You want me to give it now? All right.
Yes,
I'm going to give it.
My mute button on this mic is a little dodgy.
Okay, fair enough. I'm actually going to go and I'm going to give it an 83. Yeah, let's hear yours.
I'm very much in the same boat. I've got this game pre-ordered. I am super interested in it, and I've watched a lot of the preview content on the game. And the vibe that I'm getting is that the game is beautiful. The game is going to run really well on PC, really well on PS5 Pro. They haven't showed PS5 base and Xbox Series yet, even though they've released the specs, but apparently that's coming. Positives seem to be very much the beauty of the game, the way it runs from what we've seen, the combat, and the sense of adventure. But there has been a consistent thread of the press stating that there is a lot of mechanics at play and a lot of seemingly MMO-like confusing elements to the game in terms of button combination presses to do certain tasks, things not being explained super clearly, some roughness. So I wonder if this is going to be one of those games that comes out, reviews okay, but is ultimately adored by the fans.
Yeah.
But doesn't critically review super high. So I've gone back and forth on this. And I was initially thinking more of a 78, 79. And what we'll do, just for fairness' sake, the next game we pick, I'll pick first. So it allows that.
We'll snake it.
But for the strategic angle of this, I think I'm going to go an 80. But I do truly feel like this is going to be like a 78, 79 Metacritic. But for strategic purposes, given that you're an 83, I'm going to play it safe and go 80.
Okay.
You know what?
All right.
It'll make it interesting. 79.
Okay.
79.
Go 79.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I for some reason I'm seeing this game getting a lot of 8s, 8.5s, but then I'm seeing this game getting a lot of 7s.
Yeah, is that what your brain's thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking we're going to get a spread on the review scale between 7s and 8s. Maybe even some 6s.
We're going to get the IGN too much water?
We're going to get the too much water. The game's clearly super ambitious, but I just have this... Something must be missing here. And I'm thinking the story's probably not going to be super thrilling. It's going to be maybe one of those games where it's like the world is super exciting and it's big and ambitious and the combat's great, but the story itself maybe not be too refined, and perhaps some of the gameplay mechanics in terms of like, I don't know if you saw some of the stuff, but it's like even to jump, right? You can jump, but then you can hold the jump button to kind of do like a manual scanning and like jump from one segment to the other. There's some weird stuff with like memories, and like you have to, instead of just walking into like, picking up an item and it plays the memory, you got to put this helmet on and then go into the radial menu and pick another item to play the memory. And then like it's going to have some of that weird stuff, right? So I think from a critic perspective, I wonder if that's going to impact the ultimate score.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to land in a 79.
I'm like, I'm trying to see like what kind of game that's like long RPGs that kind of might be similar. I'm like, Final Fantasy 16 didn't review that well. I got an 87.
Because it's great. Final Fantasy 16 is fantastic.
No, it's not. It's not good.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. No. I will fight you to the death on that. It's like, I just don't get the criticism. It's like, oh, it's not a Final Fantasy game. I'm like, okay. How is Final Fantasy 12 versus Final Fantasy 6 versus Final Fantasy 15 any like consistent? What's the consistent theme between those games?
Yeah.
Not gameplay. It's themes, it's spells and not material, but you know what I mean? Like the world, the characters, the enemies, all those things, crystals.
Yeah. Man,
I'm not going to allow the Final Fantasy 16 slander. Though
I loved 15, but I know that game gets some shit.
Yeah, 15's not very good.
I played 15 from the Royal Edition. So like I didn't play it on release where it had all those bugs. I played it afterwards when the Royal Edition came out.
Yeah.
And that game I enjoyed it. That was just the boys on a fucking road trip having the best time. That was it.
Not very Final Fantasy though, Vinny.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. And the combat was different. It was new to me, but I think I enjoyed the characters a lot more. It's
definitely a lot more anime. I'll give you that. Final Fantasy 16 does feel more Game of Thrones, a bit more grounded.
It's so Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Which makes sense from when the game probably would have started development in terms of like inspirations. But I really enjoyed it. I think Final Fantasy 16 is great. I will admit, I do very much like the first half of the game more than I like the second half. Like, as soon as like the whole... I love the idea of like these different nations at war and having the Titans kind of be like the nukes, and at any point, take their one out and then all of a sudden they're vulnerable, and then it becomes about gods and typical Final Fantasy affair.
But
yeah, anyway, we can have that debate another time. But awesome. All right, perfect parry, where we guess the Metacritic score for Crimson Desert. Vinny's predicted an 83, and I've settled at a 79. But I want to move on, and it's funny how we started the discussion at the start of the episode, which kind of leans into some of this stuff, because AI is being behind the scenes starting to really make an impact in the games industry, particularly around hardware, right? Xbox spoke about gaming for Copilot Beta being brought to market. We've learned about Xbox's new console and Project Helix, and how that's a console PC hybrid, and of course how AI is going to be used in that from different aspects of game development, from bug testing to upscaling through to Copilot itself, and be like, hey Copilot, how do I defeat this boss, right? Things like that. But where I want to kind of push the conversation today is we've done a lot of discussions around Nintendo. We've spoken about the Wii U. We've spoken about the PS6. We've spoken about the next-gen Xbox. And we're going to talk about those things again. But where I wanted to kind of focus the conversation is on the new player in the home console market. And that's Valve with the Steam machine. So where I want to kind of take this is, firstly, to talk a little bit about what the Steam machine is. For those who don't know, Valve are creators of such great gaming software as Steam and the OS that is Steam OS, and it's the dominant storefront on PC, well loved in the gaming community, have decided to enter into the living room and to take on Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo with the Steam machine. Now, those who are paying attention might remember the concept of a Steam machine as far back as 2015, where Steam partnered with Alienware to release what were these kind of PC console hybrids. But obviously at the time, the world wasn't quite ready for this PC console hybrid. Fast forward to 2026. Earlier this year, we got the reveal of Steam Machine alongside some other bits of devices. And we learnt that Valve is making a play for the console market with the release of Steam Machine. Some of the high-level specs and information about the console, I'm not going to go into too much, but conceptually, from a power level, it's looking like it's going to be on par or slightly stronger than the current base PS5. So it's going to be entering into the market alongside PS5 and Xbox Series, but on the cusp of both PS6 and Project Helix set to launch next year. So it's kind of doing like a Nintendo Switch, kind of joining in halfway through, slightly powerful than what was there before, but will be outpowered, I guess.
I think its baseline it's trying to go for is 4K 60 FPS. That's what it's trying to hit across the board for their quote unquote like AAA games.
Yeah.
And the graphical fidelity, relying on their hybrid AMD CPU GPU combo, and then using their own chipset, which is it's loosely a custom chip, but kind of pretty much what's off the shelf, just with a little bit. Their cooling's supposed to be very good, but I think they're aiming now with the RAM shortage of, thanks again to AI, it's looking at being priced of, people are guessing around $1,000 US.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which is a lot. So,
which is definitely a lot. And maybe we start there. Let's start with the Steam Machine itself at a high level. What your thoughts and feelings are around Steam entering the living room. Talk a little bit about the price. What are your initial kind of thoughts when you saw this announced?
Oh, when I saw this announcement, so this was back obviously a year or two ago now. Was it close to?
No. I think that it was heavily rumored that they were doing another Steam Machine. I don't know if it was officially confirmed until recently, right? When they announced it, but there was definitely the conversation around Steam creating some sort of console. I think people were finding references to the Steam Machine in code in Steam, so it was kind of heavily, leaked. Yeah,
so heavily leaked Steam Machine. My initial thought, because this was once again back before the RAM shortage, I thought, hell yeah, this is a good idea. Steam, get your head in the game with being the couch gamer, because I feel like a lot of people bridging the gap with when you have Xbox Game Pass being available on both PC and console. You had Sony games coming from console to PC, that gap was closing. And for people like me, I was pretty much only had 2 consoles on average plus a computer. So having that ability to have my PC be one of my consoles, eliminate a threat, quote unquote, and then use it as a on my TV for couch gaming, I quite enjoy it, because I've had my ups and downs with couch gaming. I got really back into it, then I fall off it because I feel I really like the PC core experience for certain games. And then I'm also I also don't like sitting here all the time. I sit at my desk 8 hours a day for work, so I want a couch game. So yeah, I go back and forth with it. I think it's a good idea. I'm just worried now with the price and the whole RAM shortage, if it's actually going to be successful. Because, and I think you mentioned it as one of the questions, where it's PCs, consoles are sold at a loss, but this PC can't be.
Yeah. For me, I think when I saw the reveal of Steam Machine, I was like, this is interesting, right? This is really interesting, and I would love to be a fly on the wall at Sony and at Microsoft, seeing Valve enter into the living room. And what is still clearly unknown is how what's their full intent here? Is this their approach going to be very similar to Steam Deck, where you can't run into a JB Hi-Fi or an EB Games and pick one up? It's kind of you have to find it virtually. There's bespoke stores that sell it. So there isn't really a in-store presence. It's kind of sold as this boutique item that is loved by its fans, but doesn't sell tens of millions of copies. for reference, like Steam Deck itself, I think that the whole PC handheld market sold close to like 5 million units, and I think Steam Deck is has a lot of those 5 million units under their kind of little package. So it's kind of unclear what their intent is here. Is Valve's intent to kind of take on PlayStation and Xbox meaningfully, or is this more, hey, we're Valve, we're a private company, we make bank on the store, we got no real shareholders, we want to invest and play around, and we did Steam Deck and that worked out well, and we want to see what a Valve-made Steam machine can do. I think the design of the console is great. Like, I think it looks fantastic. Yeah. And it is super interesting to see some of the info starting to come out about it. Like, even in their reveal trailer, they showed, I think, a person using it as a PC. Like, running software on it. So, it's interesting. And it's funny, last week, I don't know if we spoke about it on the show or if it broke slightly after that, Jason Schreier at Bloomberg reported that Sony's pulling back from first-party releases on PC. And
we did speak about it.
Yes, and there's been conversation since then. Was that a play to make sure that these games weren't playable on Xbox? Which I think that it's part of it, and that's part of the calculus. But there's also, like, with Valve entering the Steam into the living room, does Sony look at Valve with a bit of a side eye now and go, well, you're coming into our territory here. We need to protect it at all costs, and we're pulling our games away. In terms of pricing, it's difficult because they are Sony and Microsoft, but Sony to a greater degree have the benefit of economy of scale, right? They know that they're selling 100 million of these plus. So they are buying these parts at a bulk discount that allows them to undercut PC and then also subsidize on top of that, because they obviously they make money on software. So with Valve not being able to do that, but also being a money-rich company, it'd be interesting to see how they juggle the two, particularly because of the RAM shortages. They've already delayed kind of the formal reveal of the hardware because of that. I still believe, and they believe, that it will be launching this year. But from a pricing perspective, I'm thinking maybe $799, $749. Maybe on par with PS5 Pro.
We're talking US or AUD?
USD, American.
Yeah.
Yeah, $800 would be my guess. Particularly because I just don't think, if it's kind of on par with PS5, maybe slightly more powerful but less than a PS5 Pro. I mean, the PS5 launched in 2020, so it is older technology. And I just don't think it's feasible to really sell it for much more than that if you have competitors, if they see them as competitors in Sony and Microsoft, particularly Sony selling PS5 Pro and PS5 base in that kind of $599 to $799 price range USD, depending on if you're getting the base console or the Pro. So I would think $800. It'd be interesting. They might just sell it as a console, right? Like, not even with the controller, to kind of bring down that price. There's multiple...
I think
go.
Oh, sorry.
No.
I was just going to say, I think the hard part is, because they spoke about it in a previous interview, I can't remember who I was watching with. They said, like, I think it was a Linus Tech Tips thing when he spoke about the Steam Deck, because he went to Valve. But they spoke about how they can't actually price it so low to the point where companies would actually buy them instead of a PC to use, because it's an open source project. So like, you can, if you wanted to, you could. It's a PC. If you wanted to, you could install Windows on it. You can install Linux because it's Steam OS. But they were talking about how we can't actually price it to the point where it can work as a really good mini PC that corporations are gonna buy it. Like, there's a certain price point they don't want to hit with it.
Interesting.
So they can't actually price a console too low. Because you shorten that. But I think you're right with the whole boutique style of sale, how they're doing with the Steam Deck. Like, the Steam Deck didn't come to Australia for the first year of its release. It only got announced in 2024. It got announced at PAX.
Okay.
That it was coming.
Yep.
Or was available. But It could be the same thing. It could be an instance where it's only available on the website. It's only available at certain boutique stores that's going to sell them. It's not going to have a presence. You're right. It doesn't have the need to have a presence at an EB Games or at a JB Hi-Fi in our side of town, because what can you sell? You can't sell games. What are you going to sell? Just Steam vouchers, which they already sell there anyway. Like, you're right. There's no reason to have a presence in a retail space. Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of see Valve looking at this very much Steam Deck. It's like, we want to create this boutique item that's loved by its fans. And if I was a PC gamer, it's hard because PC gamers like PCs. That's why they're PC gamers. So it's kind of like, is this for them? Is this for a console gamer that wants to get into PC gaming? And maybe they have a few games on Steam and they don't know where to start with PC gaming. So they see this as like a meeting in the middle. It's wild. From an industry perspective, there's a lot of talk around like consoles not dying, but the market kind of flatlining, and PC is the growing market. But what's tricky with PC, very similar to like mobile gaming, is there's 2 billion people that have PCs and have access to games, but how many of those are playing the games that we would consider, not that we're like gatekeeping who could be a gamer, but it's like, look, if you're logging into some web browser to play some web game, good on you, but you shouldn't necessarily be calculated in the formula for people who buy and play video games.
Yeah, if you're playing Jetpack Joyride or Candy Crush or Bejeweled.
Exactly. So if you're Valve, you're looking at this and going, okay, we can create this boutique thing. We might be able to get double dippers to kind of play here, where we've got the hardcore Steam players who might go, you know what, I'd be down for like a console Steam machine plugged into my TV. I'm playing a lot of smaller indie games, which is a very big part of Steam, is those smaller games that don't actually launch on console. And some of the biggest games in the world are these kind of low-powered, random friend slop games that don't
like
launch.
Undertale being huge.
Yeah, that don't launch on console. So I could see a Steam player going, I'll pick this up and play those games on my TV using this machine. I can also see parents who are Steam gamers going, oh, well, I could buy this and have my children use it, and they'll have access to all my games. And I've got hundreds or thousands of games because I've been hoarding Steam sales and things like that. That's another thing. And then there's the people who potentially want to move from console to PC and don't know really where to start. So I see this selling more than Steam Deck. By how much, I don't know. Like, does this thing get to 10 million units? Maybe. And maybe that's enough of a threat.
Does it beat the Wii U?
Yeah, does it beat the Wii U? And maybe if it does, or has the potential to kind of sell around 10 million units, is that enough of a competitive edge where Sony and Microsoft definitely, because their whole Helix is a PC console hybrid. So they're very much going head to head with Valve in terms of concept. Microsoft, it's funny, like, does Microsoft see Valve as a competitor, right? Or do they see them as like a companion to also being available on our Xbox Helix and you can launch Steam? It's funny, I saw this a tech breakdown by Moore's Law is Dead, who's a kind of insider in the whole tech space. And he raised a really interesting point where Microsoft have never physically or literally mentioned the word Steam. Journalists have made the assumption that Steam's going to be launched or playable on this Xbox Helix because it's a PC.
Yeah.
But what if it's not? And what if... Yeah. Because I've always said, and a lot of people have said this, it's not just me, it's like, how does Microsoft make money if I buy Resident Evil Requiem on Steam on an Xbox? Valve gets 70% and Capcom get 30%. Microsoft gets 0%. And you're buying it and playing it on an Xbox. Right?
Yeah.
So if you're giving your players access to Steam instead of buying it through the Microsoft store, you potentially make no money. And I could buy an Xbox game on Steam and Microsoft would only get 70% of the cut as opposed to 100% of the cut, even though I purchased it on an Xbox because I purchased it via Steam.
I wonder if it's going to have its own specific Microsoft store that only has like the available apps available for download, and Steam's not one of them. Kind of like how Apple and Android have the Play Store.
Exactly. So maybe this is this is the prevailing wisdom. So I don't know if you remember when I brought this up. I said, what if it's like you can't buy games from Steam, but your library will kind of come across in some sort of like, here's everything you own on PC type viewer. That was kind of one lens of looking at it. The other is the more open, like you can launch into Steam directly and buy games and interact with the Steam store. Or there's this third view where it's like Microsoft goes to like Epic and Ubisoft Plus, like these smaller players, and be like, well, we are a Windows-based thing. Let's kind of work together here and maybe be a bit more compelling than Steam in that space, particularly if you saw a lot of the GDC talk around Project Helix and what they were offering in terms of like services and how to port your game in a day, and we'll give you free cross-play kind of support in the background. So it's interesting now to think about it. Like, we've all, including myself, have just been running on the assumption that Steam is definitely 100% launchable on the next Xbox, but maybe it isn't.
Yeah.
And is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know, because there's probably a lot of sales they would have got if it did launch Steam, because it's like, oh, great, I can buy this kind of powerful console PC hybrid from Xbox and just use it as a Steam kind of PC at home.
Or just use it as a PC.
But then it also runs into the commercial thing of like what I said. It's like, well, I can buy a game and Microsoft doesn't even see $1 from it. So the only money they see from me is on the hardware itself, which is a once-off thing, which they don't want. There is Game Pass, and they might still be trying to sell that, but it gets a bit murky. So if we run with the idea that maybe it isn't, and that Microsoft may be going to battle with not Steam Machine itself, but maybe Valve in terms of Steam OS. You know, we also saw that Xbox is launching in April, Xbox Mode for Windows 11 launching in April. Right? That's a direct competition with Steam and Big Picture Mode on Steam. So it's interesting. And do you think that maybe Sony, you know, part of the reason they pulled back from PC is because of kind of looking at what Valve's doing here on the side, or you think maybe not?
I think yes, because you're now creeping into Sony's kingdom. You're creeping into the PlayStation space, who have pretty much, like, outside of Nintendo, have won the quote-unquote console war the past 2 generations. You think PS4, we spoke about how Xbox One reveal was abysmal, and then PS4 and then PS5 obviously winning out as well.
Yeah.
And then
obviously PS2 was huge and PS1. PS3 was the only kind of like... They ultimately did go and sell more than the Xbox 360, but that was just tail end, and when they stopped making production of the 360 versus PS3 was sold for a lot longer and things like that. So, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, when we spoke about how that was a generation to lose, and ever since then it's just been an uphill battle for Xbox, need to try new things, need to adapt, where Sony can kind of stay the same for now. It's been... Yeah, I think the idea is that Sony are trying to keep their cards close to their chest. They're really trying to make sure that what they have and what IP they have is staying on Sony, because they know that these games sell systems, and then people stay on the Sony ecosystem and do that thing with their Fortnite V-Bucks and their credits and stuff like that, and they buy games on the PlayStation Store instead of buying them on Steam or buying them on... Because, like you said, indie games, non-PlayStation exclusives, they're available across so many games, so many consoles. Like, so yeah, they just want to keep their IPs to themselves, because they know people buy the console for the IPs, and then they'll stay on there. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's funny. It's Sony went so heavy into games as a service, leaned into PC publishing to some degree, only to kind of go back and be like, all right, well, let's work kind of still continue on games as a service, but let's dial that back, and then let's not launch on PC and go back to console. And it's probably because the trailing wisdom was correct. The model that has been there since the NES, where it's like Nintendo games are only playable on a Nintendo, and you buy the Nintendo to play Nintendo games, and then you also play the other games there because you brought the console for that. That's still the way it works today. And it often gets lost in the conversation where it's like, oh, the budget of this game was 200-300 million, and they only sold 10 million copies, so they only really made $100 million, which is not even enough to develop the next game. It's not just about that. If a portion of those sales are new players buying the console, that is more important than the copy of the individual copy of that game being sold. Because it means that the person is likely to sign up for PlayStation Plus, likely to buy Fortnite V-Bucks, likely, to buy and engage with the PlayStation Store. And Sony make most of their money on other people's games.
Yeah.
That's the threat. So, sure, God of War, the new God of War game, launching day and date on PC and console likely won't really affect console sales at this point. But the sales on Steam aren't worth the risk of people perhaps not buying the console. And when you're about to launch a PS6, you need to kind of all eyes on us. And it's just funny to kind of see them come to the realization the thing we need to do is actually the thing we were doing.
Yeah.
And not to stray too far from that. But for me, like...
Sorry.
Go.
I was going to say, they did say they're going to take their first party single-player games. Mm-hmm. So there's still that chance that their multiplayer games will be multi-platform.
Yep.
Which, that, I think, makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah. And they're published games as well, like second-party relationships, like the new Kenner game launching console and PC. It's really just like the Ghosts, the Wolverines, the Intergalactics, like those big...
Ratchet and Clank.
Tadpole titles. But going back to Steam Machine for a second, like, it's funny, I jumped on before we went live. I went and checked my Steam account. What was the last thing I purchased and when I played on Steam last? It was Dive Kick in 2011. It was the last time I purchased...
I remember Dive Kick.
Yeah, purchased or played anything on Steam. So definitely not for me. But yeah, I kind of think like everyone's kind of very much ingrained at this point. The major risk is like the new players as they get into the market. The world has changed where people are like, I often see this kind of spoken about online, and I think it is true, where the younger generation who are following kind of Twitch streamers and TikTokers and things like that are mostly following content creators who play on PC. So they're more inclined to want the thing that they're watching being played. Right?
True. Very true. Influential.
Yeah.
It's influence.
So PCs... I think PCs are, over time, will continue to be a dominant force in the market. The only counter to this, and I've seen this mentioned before on another show, and I think there is something to it, is... with all these RAM shortages and everything that's going up with inflation across the world, PCs are only going to get more expensive. And parts are going to get more expensive. Consoles will go up in price as well, but they're always going to be cheaper than a PC because of what we spoke about before. Economies of scale, subsidizing the hardware, things like that. So I wonder if it's like, as much as PCs would naturally be growing in market share as opposed to a console, like Sony realistically is probably getting some new acquisition, but mostly maybe getting players that are ditching Xbox or people upgrading from PS4. Their play is to enter in markets that don't play on console historically, like China and Korea and things like that, and get them to be in the console ecosystem. So that's where they see console growing. It's like in markets that console's still relatively new in. But there is something to say that as PCs go up in price and consoles go up in price, the PS6 will always be cheaper than the equivalent PC because it's purchased in bulk
it's true.
And sold to potentially subsidized. So I wonder if they see that as like, we actually have an opportunity here as much as PCs are growing, they're actually going to become so expensive that the player base that would want a PC is going to be priced out of it. You look at the new Xbox, like the rumor is it's like 1,200 USD. And we're talking Steam machine, which is as powerful as a PS5, being potentially $800-900, where you can buy a PS5 base for $599 USD.
Yeah.
So where does it go? And if I'm interested in FIFA, and my kid's like, I want a PC to play FIFA, and I'm like, well,
like, mate,
I can get you a PS5. It's got crossplay. And I'm saving $300-400, and then we can use it as a Blu-ray player or whatever. Like, I wonder how that all shakes out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I don't know what's going to happen. Like, the next year is going to be pretty interesting once a thing releases and how it releases. So back to the marketing side of things, the boutique spec is more inclined in my mind now on how they've done the Steam Deck. Like, I think that's how they'll do the Steam machine. It just makes sense. And then lower the cost. Don't sell it with a controller. Everyone's got a controller. You can use any controller anyway. Like literally, you can use your PS5, 3 Xbox controller, Switch controller. All these controllers are compatible on a PC anyway, and they would be compatible on the Steam machine. And normal PCs don't come with any kind of peripheral anyway. So
what would they have to do for you to buy one? Do you play a lot? I know you do play a lot on PC. Sorry, this is 2 questions now. Do you use Valve a lot? Steam a lot? Or because I know you play a lot of League and stuff, which is not launching via Steam. It's through its own launcher, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So all my the only launcher I have really is Steam and Epic, but not for Fortnite, just for those free games every now and then they throw out. But yeah, mainly Steam. Like I played the Batman Arkham games. I played on Steam. BioShock I played on Steam. My Steam library is only 85 games, which is small in comparison to everyone else. But it's 85 games I have played for pretty cheap as well. Yeah. So, and a lot of games I like playing with a controller. So for me, will I buy it? I'm not sure. I don't think so. Because I have had PCs in the past. I could probably faction a pre-built PC that could run SteamOS and do the exact same thing for a cheaper price. Because this is the thing. If it's an enthusiast, this is one thing I have to say. If it's an enthusiast piece of hardware, enthusiast piece of tech, the enthusiasts already know how to build a PC and source a PC for cheap. So
yeah, it's
just such a weird market because not everyone can build a Steam Deck.
And that was going to be my point. I mean? It's like Steam Deck's different where it's something you'd want as a companion device because it's different. Where I mean, again, the only way maybe it's kind of like I have this extensive Steam library. Well, the funny thing is, this is where it gets super interesting, though. When Valve was talking about the Steam machine, they mentioned as part of... I think someone was asking them about the specs of the machine, why they chose what they chose. And apparently, obviously, they have all the data in the back end to know from all their players what specs of machines are being used. So they are very much designing this thing knowing that it's probably better than 80% of the people who use Steam. And it's really... Just like with console gaming, there's a hardcore like you and I, which is maybe 10-15% of the base purchases of PS5, for instance. There's probably a very similar thing with PC. So as much as there's 150 million, MAUs on Steam, how many of those are the hardcore versus how many of those are just the casual? And if this thing comes out at a compelling price and is more powerful than the PC they have now, and can also be used as a console, is that appealing?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. But again,
because
will these casuals hear about it? Because will it be available in a JB Hi-Fi? Maybe. We don't know.
Maybe.
But I doubt it.
Maybe it'll just be available at a standard PC retail, like a Centacom or a Scorp Tech here in Australia, like our PC Case Gear, like all those like actual computer hardware places where people will buy PC parts. maybe it'll just be available there.
Yeah, exactly. So it's super interesting, and I think we will learn a lot when we learn how the thing's going to be sold. I think that will tell you everything you need to know. If all of a sudden this
be
is
at PAX this year.
Sorry, what was that?
Sorry, I said I wonder if it will be at PAX this year.
Potentially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
be cool to see.
Yeah, and particularly now that we know that dev kits for Helix are releasing to developers early next year, which pretty much indicates that the next Xbox is launching next year. And we've now also heard from, again, Moore's Law is Dead, who I spoke about before, who leaked the PS5 Pro, who's leaked a lot of these things. Plus Kepler, who are another kind of console leaker who've got a really good track record, saying, no, the PS5 is in fact, PS6 is in fact launching next year. So we are going to get Steam Machine this year, plus PS6 and the next Xbox. So it's really interesting to see how these all go to bat. One being the PS6 being a very traditional hardware, the Xbox and Steam Machine being these hybrid devices. Yeah, fascinating.
Fascinating indeed.
We don't often get new entries into the console war. It's always been the same few. We lost Sega.
Yep. We definitely lost Sega.
Yeah. But here comes Valve. Game new.
Yeah.
Vinny, anything else you wanted to touch on before we wrap up this fortnight's episode?
No, nothing. It's been a pretty good episode, if I do say so myself.
Oh, I'm glad you think so. Where can you find us, Vinny?
YouTube right now.
Mm-hmm. Dodge, Parry,
That's
Roll.
it.
Yep. Make sure you search us up. Support your local Aussies. Like I said, available every fortnight here on YouTube. Dodge, Parry, Roll. Subscribe. Let us know in the comments. Are you interested in buying a Steam Deck? If yes, why? If no, why not? But yeah, things are moving, things are shaking. The weather's changing here in Australia. It's gone from summer to winter very quickly.
I'm in my Ugg boots right now.
Yeah. I'm not
Shorts
quite
and Ugg
there
boots.
yet. I'm not quite there yet, but I did notice today when I was looking out the lawn, I'm like, there's a bit of a yellow hue going on across the lawn here, and I'm like, that's the winter grass starting to the chill starting to set in. So I'll have to watch that with intent.
Oh, I just want to say just quietly, this is my ideal outfit right now. This is jumper but shorts and Ugg boots. This is peak comfort for me. I could wear these. I could wear this in winter. You gotta let the legs breathe.
Yeah.
So much heat in the legs. You gotta let them breathe.
Oh, I agree. I argue though, there's a lot of heat in the feet, so I don't wear.
There is heat in the feet.
I don't like wearing socks.
Oh no, I'm a pure sock man.
No. I mean, if I had really ugly, smelly feet, I would wear socks even if I didn't want to. But I
don't like feet.
I have fine feet. They don't smell. But I prefer that. But I do agree, a hoodie or a jumper and shorts is a great combo.
Oh, it's the best.
But then you add in the no socks. Oh boy. Something special. But Vinny, it has been another exciting episode. Thank you for joining us. Again,
Us.
YouTube, fortnightly, Dodge, Parry, and Roll. It's been a pleasure. Vinny, send us off.
May the power protect you.
Goodbye.